In this video, we're going to cover some of the most frequently asked questions that we get. What would you say is one of the most common questions that we get?
How big are they going to get?
How big are they going to get? That's a good one. How big are they going to get? Okay, when we think something mini, we think of like a miniature schnauzer or a miniature chihuahua, and they'll fit in like a little bag. And that's just not the case with pigs. So with pigs, a mini pig is any pig that stays under 300 pounds.
300 pounds.
300 pounds. That may sound like a lot, but
Compared to a giant pig.
yeah, you look at butcher hog, production hog, which is about 800 or 1,200 pounds. 300 pounds is significantly smaller. Another question we get a lot is, what do pigs eat? What do we feed them? You get pig and sow pellets or hog pellets from your feed store. And the most important thing to remember with that, you want to make sure that you get the low protein percentage feed. So I usually ask for some 14% hog feed. And depending on which feed store I go to, it's between like 14 to 16, maybe 18% protein. And that's compared to the grower feed. That's for production pigs. That's more in the 24 to 26% protein.
Yeah, that's to fatten them up.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that with your mini pig. You want them to be kind of small and petite. Pig and sow or hog feed from your feed store. A pig is an omnivore, so they do like grass too. So if you have your pig out grazing in grass, that's going to count as part of their nutritional intake. We do have a toxic foods list, so take a look at that. Another question we get all the time is about potty training. Potty training a pig is pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
From the day that they're born, they start to already gravitate towards the furthest corner from where they're eating, and they go potty. By a week old, most of the time, at least by 3 weeks old, the pigs are exclusively going in the potty box.
Yeah, they like corners.
Yes, that's why we lumped pig pens and potty training together, because the pig pen serves as your means of really getting them potty trained. Pig pens are important for a pig anyways because they like to have their own space. As far as potty training, especially for your indoor pigs, you're going to really need to have at least a 4x4 area where they sleep and where they're going to go potty.
Yeah.
And then you'll eventually expand that area. You'll let them have more free roaming of the house. I like to say it takes at least 6 months to a year for a pig to be fully potty trained, where you can actually trust him in your house to free roam without having any potty accidents. And the other purpose of the pen for potty training purposes is that if you let your pig free roam all over the house, they are going to pick a corner in every single room of your house, in your bedroom, in your living room, in your kitchen.
But it's always a corner.
It's always a corner or a hidden spot under a chair or something like that. That's one thing that we don't want to do. We don't want to train them that there's a potty corner in every room of the house.
Yeah.
They're pretty easily trained.
Yeah.
Another common question we get is about their maintenance, like grooming and maintenance.
Grooming. Toes them down.
That's bathing. That's another question we get. Do they like baths? And typically no. So I've had some piglets that we put in the bathtub and they're totally fine, and then we have other ones that are just screaming like they're dying. Having a little spot or baby pool, somewhere where you can shower them off, that's what I find is easiest. The piglets, when they're babies, you can get them in and out of the bathtub or in and out of your shower. But once they get older, you're not going to be able to pick them up and get them into the tub.
Yeah.
People do have, I've seen a lot of videos where pigs actually jump into the tub. So some pigs are very happy to get in the bathtub.
And it's going to depend on you and
how often you get them used to something.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I like to let people know is that pigs are inherently scared of everything until they get used to it.
Yeah.
And I find that it usually only takes 2 to 3 times exposing a pig to something new before they are okay with it, and before they get that it's safe and that it's okay to do. That's any kind of new thing, whether it's the car, the bath, harness and leash training, new surfaces like a hard shiny floor versus what they're used to walking on. Just any kind of new thing, a pig is very, very precautious. But back to the maintenance, I always like to mention hoof trimming. And as far as hoof trimming goes, I say preventative maintenance is the best way to go. So when they're a piglet, it's good to just go on ahead and start. Okay, it's okay. Start out touching their hooves and filing their hooves before they actually need the hoof trim. That way, when they're older, they won't be freaking out with you messing with their hooves. That's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
If we haven't done that and you've noticed that your older pig is in need of a hoof trim, you can call a farrier, which they come out to your house and do the hoof trimming. The other maintenance, the most important thing that you're going to need to stay on top of as far as health maintenance is their worming.
Worming.
Yeah. I find every 6 months works fine for our pigs, and we stick to the ivermectin. Another thing that I think is important for new pig parents to know and understand about pigs, how it's really different than owning a dog.
You say.
I don't know what the scientific thing behind this is, but dogs are pack animals and pigs are herd animals. And then it's also predator and prey. A dog is a predator and a pig is prey. So pigs are very precautious because of their prey nature. Since pigs are prey animals, they're just kind of scared of everything until they learn that it's safe. The other difference, they are not as loyal to you as dogs. Like, they will not listen to you every single time you tell them to come.
Yeah.
You can be a bad dog parent, and that dog still loves you and will be loyal to you and listen to you. Pigs, no matter how good you are to pigs, they still expect something in exchange for doing what you want them to do. So the good thing is pigs are very food motivated. That's one of the important things, that anytime you take your pigs somewhere, you're going to need to have your snacks, your Cheerios, your whatever gets them motivated to move, because a lot of times it's kind of difficult to get your pig to move where you need it to go. That, I think, is one of the biggest differences between a pig and a dog. All right, so what do you think are some things about pigs that we learned as we became pig parents? Like, we didn't know this getting into owning pigs at the very beginning, but as we became, seasoned pig parents, we learn certain things.
We learn to ignore their squeals sometimes.
Yeah. It's good that you brought that up, because this goes into the behavior thing. Pigs, they are constantly fighting for that position of top hog in the hierarchy. In a herd, there's a very specific pecking order. There's the top hog, and everybody in the herd knows where they lie in the pecking order. If your pig does not look to you as a reliable leader, they will try to challenge you to have that top position in the hierarchy, and to always ignore their squeals. Never feed a squealing pig, because then you have just reinforced that squealing gets them what they want.